Here, sorry, we're handling some stuff back there with the team and having a little bit of fun and enjoying some of our visitors that we have and seeing some family. It was awesome to be able to open up the season today on the blue. We got great weather and got a chance to play in front of Bronco Nation, who was awesome today. I mean, I know we had a few false starts, and that had a lot to do with our fans and how loud they were, especially down on the south end. So I want to give a shout out to that crew down there. They're exceptional today. For our defense, we were down there. Luckily, a fair amount with great field position, and again, Bronco Nation showed up and gave us a great home field advantage. And looking forward to seeing Bronco Nation back out next time we return to Albertson Stadium. I'll take any questions.
What does it mean, guys, to protect the blue today?
I mean, it's obviously each week the goal is to be 1-0 and to focus on what it is that we need to get done to take care of that. And so, being that we were on the road the first two games of the season, I mean, like we spoke about earlier this week, the guys are extremely excited to get to the opportunity to play at home. It actually felt kind of weird, like, handling our process and stuff here. We hadn't done it since last November, in a real game situation. So to be able to smell, there's a certain distinct smell of Albertson Stadium, the concessions, the football in the air, and it's always great to be able to come back. And anyone who has played in this stadium knows exactly what I'm talking about.
How impressive was George today and your guys' ability to get him in a rhythm pretty early?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a big to-do, and we got to continue to find ways to do so, not only in the first half, but in the second half. I think we did a good job, as we spoke about personnel and some things, and making sure that not only for George, but for the other personnel on the offense, too, we're putting them in the best position. We know that they're going to get their opportunities with certain plays.
Offensively, I mean, you guys had a great first half, 250 yards, and then second half, not quite as good. How do you overall evaluate the offense?
Yeah, we didn't produce, and we weren't productive in the second half. We weren't, and from the standpoint of we came out and we were able to run the ball and handle the line of scrimmage in the run game, but we weren't able to protect the quarterback. I mean, in some of those situations, yeah, Hank's got to manage them a little bit better. But when you're back there with pressure in your face, it's not always a manageable situation for him. So we've got to do a much better job protecting him, and so that we can. Get to the routes in the pass game, but otherwise we had too many negative yardage plays. I mean, we took a big one, a huge one early on. We were just lucky enough to get the ball back.
How much of some of the offensive struggles, is on the offensive line?
Well, I'm going to say this again. I felt like we ran the ball pretty well today. Obviously, when you take a 20-something yard hit on one play, that's going to kill what the stats say, and you take some sacks. So we ran the ball pretty well today, Jordan. We ran the ball really well today, but we got to do a better job protecting.
What did you see on the defense today?
We're just really impressed overall as a group effort. When we talk about playing together, the front, the back end, the linebackers in between, but those guys have been really consistent. We played a little bit different style offense than we've seen in these first three games. Offensively, we've seen three different offenses, and so today our structure was a little bit different, and it was really exciting to see the amount of work that the defense put in through the course of this week, because this is the first time that we've played that much dime, and to handle all the adjustments, especially early on in the game when they were shifting and motioning within each play to try to create confusion. We're really excited about how the defense handled themselves, and we're able to play pretty consistent. We gave up one, and it really wasn't on Caleb. I mean, shoot, we messed our pass rush up front, and the quarterback had all day. But aside from that, the defense was stout all day.
Going back to George real quick, I mean, the first couple of games, I mean, how much of these kind of has to be patient and grind through those to get to a game like today where you had a little bit of space? And,
Yeah.
We saw what he's capable of today, obviously.
Yeah, just being able to get him the ball on the perimeter too, in some of those situations where there is space out there, and that gets him in. Just we got to get him as many touches as we can, and also keep Ashton involved too. I mean, it's the 1-2 punch within the run game, and then it's got to be able to open up the pass game. And we did hit some more explosive pass plays today, but there were plenty more out there that we were capable of executing.
It was the first rushing touchdown for him in a year. Was that a little bit of a weight off his shoulder, do you think, to get a rushing touchdown?
I mean, I'm sure he was excited. Everybody likes scoring touchdowns, but a weight off his shoulders. I mean, I don't know if George looks at it that way.
going back to the defense for a second. 2 weeks in a row, you've been dominant against the run. Why have you had so much success in that area?
Again, it's something. It just goes down with the preparation and the guys being coachable up front each and every week and studying and figuring out, okay, what does this team do in the run game? What do we got to take away? And each and every week, that's a process. It doesn't just happen. The amount of work that goes into that, the amount of film study, the amount of making sure that our fundamentals and techniques and how everybody's fitting the piece of the puzzle up front. I mean, I'm telling you, Ron, there's a lot of work that goes into that, and that's what we just talked to the team about right now, is the work that we have to put in every single week on a Monday night, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday and a Friday. Is it worth the feeling of what we feel right now to be able to do what we did on defense?
The pass protection, and we see in the first half what can happen when there's 250 yards. Like I said, it looks great at times, and there's times where it's struggle to get a yard. And how frustrating, I guess, is that, and the fact that you haven't maybe put a whole game offensively together?
Yeah, we'll get back to work, and we'll look at it. We'll look at where we got to get better.
We were talking about wanting to get more carries for Jordan, or more touches for Jordan.
Yep.
He's involved in the rushing game, the passing game, the special teams. When he's as multi-dimensional as he was today, just how much of an asset can he be for your team?
I mean, he's a pretty good player. So, I mean, we're making sure in terms of personnel and specific plays that George gets his touches. Again, whether that's carrying the ball in the passing game, special teams, and then obviously being able to complement him with Ashton as well.
Coach, you mentioned lack of explosive plays on offense. What do you feel like you guys need to do to find that rhythm where you're getting 15, 20 yards on the passing game?
No, I didn't mention lack of explosive plays. I said we hit some explosive plays, and there were some more out there that we could have if we were just in a little bit better rhythm to be able to protect the quarterback. Again, it's all 11 playing together. It's not just on one guy. It's not just on a wide receiver. It's not just on a quarterback. It's not just on one guy blocking. It's collectively being more consistent with our protections. And there's a variety of protections, too. That conversation could go on for another 10 minutes about what protection are we talking about. We're talking about scat. We're talking about 6-man pros. We're talking about 7-man pros. That's a whole world that we can spend a lot of time on. And that's what we get to do as a coaching staff, is be able to sit down and separate these protections and figure out the fine details that we can get better at so we can protect the quarterback.
More opportunities to pull right and start
Yeah, I mean, he's very consistent. Not only that, I mean, if you see some of the blocks, he had some good blocks, within special teams, but as a wide receiver too, is obviously he did a good job today as a kick returner, and week in and week out, he's going to have his opportunities within the offensive game plan too, because he has shown. Typically, we see guys do really well on special teams. They gain their confidence. Coaches gain their confidence in them to be able to operate on offense and defensively, and he's one of those guys. We just got to keep building him forward.
How would you assess how Hank played?
He was, I really liked the way he started out the game. There was a lot of consistency there. He executed the plan, especially in the openers. And I think that there were obviously some plays that we could have managed better. We got to do a better job of knowing when, a play is going south, minimal damage, and take care of the football. That's the number one deal, and that's what we talked to him about during the game. Let's not turn a bad play into a really bad situation and give the other team the other ball. And that's where we just got to continue to get better. As a competitor, he wants to fight on each and every play and get the offense out of bad situations. But sometimes, it's best to just move on to the next. Yeah, we were talking about, early in this week, which offensive player is going to get a takeaway on special teams, and just emphasizing taking care of the ball and taking the ball. And so it was awesome to see that pop up this week where, he's able to recover a fumble on that kickoff. That was huge. And he had some tackles on special teams as well, a kickoff and I believe on a punt as well.
Coach, you had some
At this point, I don't have anything on Jay Reed. Obviously, I don't think that's a good situation, but I can't comment further on that. Okay, so I won't until otherwise it's a season-ending injury.
Just last week,
there's ebbs and flows, I get it, but Stephanie had a target last week, and he gets one early this week. He led the team with 7. Is there an effort there to get him back involved in the passing game? Or?
Again, we're personnel and stuff, so that we can make sure that certain guys are not only running certain routes, but getting their opportunities and their targets and doing a much better job of that. And we'll continue to find ways to be able to do those things. Yeah, it was good to see him get the ball early on. You know, there was a huge play for Latrell early on too, and an exact look the defense gave us on a 2nd down and long. And Latrell was in the slot to the field in a one-on-one situation. And the exact look that we got in practice, and those two executed, Hank and Latrell executed. And so that's just the consistency of building off of things like that, you know, are going to be huge for our offense moving forward.
Kind of along those same lines, 9 different receivers caught passes for you guys today. Just how happy were you with how Hank was able to spread the ball around?
Yeah, there was, again, I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say that we're at where we need to be at, but I'm not going to sit up here either. And I'm not talking about being frustrated either. We did some things that we improved on that we wanted to improve on. Now we got to just keep growing. I mean, we spread the ball around today, and different guys touched the ball. Davis had a huge catch today on a sail route. We talked about Latrell. You guys talked about Steph. George obviously got some in there, and so did Ashton. So we got to continue to find ways to use our personnel and offense the best we can.
Last question.
As Hank was leaving with the injury and came around the field, there were these big cheers, and a couple of your, at least one of the players tweeted it out, you know, just kind of, maybe that's disrespectful from the fans, doing that as Taylor on the field. Do you have any, thoughts on that?
No, I don't have any thoughts on that, Jordan. Sorry, bud. Yep.